What is happening today that people 10 years ago would never believe? Students photographing their essay instructions and getting a usable essay in 5 seconds from a free phone app. A foot-long ham sandwich at Subway is $12 and some change. I wouldn't believe how much the meaning of facts would deteriorate. $400 for a 70 television. Boeing no longer knows how to build airplanes. $16 burrito plus drink at Chipotle. The Rolling Stones are still touring. Edit. I suddenly remembered a Cracked or Mad magazine cover from 30 plus years ago making fun of them for being too old to tour, calling them the Rotting Bones, featuring Keith Richards in a wheelchair and Mick Jagger with a walker LOL. The cost of a concert ticket. From hosting the Oscars in 2014 to a well-publicized exposure of poor work practices and a crap personality in recent years, Ellen DeGeneres is not only off the air from her hugely rated television show, in 2014, to threatening to disappear from the public view entirely in 2024. Gestures broadly. The whole world shutting down due to a virus. 28 days later, 2002, and Dawn of the Dead came out in 2004, too. Like, people would have lost their shit and not believed you. Zombie-infected sci-fi was on the rise going into The Walking Dead. Edit. You can tell I was born in the 80s when I think 2004 was 10 years ago and not 2014. Unironically 1984's Newspeak aka AlgoSpeak. Is there any difference between ungood and unalive? That Google search sucks and there is no viable replacement or competitor. Edit. Apparently try Kajai, dollar, Perplexity. Some have also had good luck with Bing and DuckDuckGo. The rest of us have been adding Reddit as a suffix to searches. It's not just a discoverability problem, it's also a content problem. Everyone is okay with their data being sold. They're just doorbells. Terms and conditions keep getting worse. I not only got a girlfriend but am now married LOL. The standard of living in the UK is being surpassed by Poland and Slovenia. And the wage in Japan is lower than that in Korea and Taiwan. And $1 is worth 160 Japanese yen. How hard it is to earn $100 as opposed to how easy it is to spend it. The best Japanese hitter and best Japanese pitcher in MLB is the same guy, and he's won 2 of the last 3 MVPs. Even in July 2014, I don't think anyone imagined Donald Trump would be president of the United States at one point and now running for election again in 2024. I mean, Donald Trump? That would be like predicting that Whoopi Goldberg or Oprah Winfrey would be elected president. People in 2014 would roll their eyes at you, you can't be serious. Also, unrelated, ChatGPT and other AI. To people even from 10 years ago, it would blow their/our minds. Having a conversation with an almost sentient-like entity anytime, 24/7, on any topic. Sci-fi world. Fast food places elimination of free refills for drinks. 10 years ago I think the internet was at its peak usefulness, now Google is obsessed with making sure you only see ads to the point where it and other search engines absolute dog shit. Vine has been replaced with a Chinese spyware clone, Twitter is on fire, Facebook is having a midlife crisis, Reddit sold out, and somehow Tumblr is just as bad as it was 10 years ago but everything dropped to its level so it looks good now. ETSE and Amazon are the same thing pretty much, which is just Yup selling things from a Chinese seller, and Netflix went from destroying cable to becoming a more complicated even worse cable. So I did not have the enshittification of the entire internet on my checklist of things to expect. Roe vs. Wade was overturned. Folding touchscreen phones and AI assistant takeovers. Air conditioner is a must-own item living in the Pacific Northwest. I've lived here for 20 years, the first 10 were very mild and you could get by without one. Not now. I just bought my second unit. The summers are definitely hotter up here now. Delivery options for everything, including food. Amazon was on the rise in 2014, but delivery food besides local pizza was still uncommon. Uber Eats didn't exist until later in 2014, and did you really want your food handled and delivered by a stranger? Then pandemic happened, and now we can get fast food, groceries, Target/Walmart runs done by strangers, and it's socially acceptable to not interact with them at the door. Introverts rise up, quietly hiding behind the curtains for the delivery driver to leave. McDonald's is paying $22 per hour starting wage. The current presidential candidates for the US election is an 81-year-old and a 78-year-old. One of them is a convicted felon. Both have shown signs of cognitive issues, one way more than the other. Let's not mention the ruling by the US Supreme Court over the past years. 2014 seems so long ago. If you told me 10 years ago that Donald Trump and Joe Biden, both having already served one term as president, were running against each other again, I'd have wondered what the hell kind of drugs you were on. But here we are. The absolutely insane prices at Taco Bell. You used to eat a good meal for $3, last week it cost us $24 to eat at T-Bell. Party-size Frito-Lay brand chips have shrunk to almost the size of the old big grabs you'd find at gas stations. That some level of elite/politicians are involved in international child sex trafficking and blackmail, and no one that has been involved has been arrested or even named for the most part. No riots in the streets, not a lot of public outcry. Once you reach a certain age, you genuinely do stop being surprised by things very often, so a lot is going to depend on your context. If you were 10 years old 10 years ago, things are going to be a lot more surprising than if you were in your 40s. I don't think anything about the general enshittification of anything on the web, from Google search imploding to streaming turning back into cable, should be surprising, because it was a well-established phenomenon 10 years ago. Likewise, threatening to hit a new all-time world surface temperature record is probably quite unsurprising. A lot of people might be surprised by the progress of the EV industry. In the US there are startups like Lucid and Rivian making extremely interesting and capable cars. I'll tell you what I was surprised about. Talking about a war between Russia and Ukraine that threatens to spill over into global conflict. As a child of the 1970s, that seems like something from my childhood that would have been in the distant past. That, and people talking about the Cleveland Browns as a decent football team. Canada turning majority anti-immigration, with most of the ire being directed towards Indians. Image generators as we have them now are surreal. It's not their output that would be unbelievable. AI images can be pretty crap, but that it works like it understands language. I remember that first doll \**, which generated very small things, sent me into existential crisis. In 2014 we were halfway through Barack Obama's second term in office. I don't think anyone at that point in time could have feasibly predicted that in just 3 terms, the United States would be tearing itself apart from the inside out at every juncture of the political spectrum. Shrek movie number 5 is in production. That Twitter would be owned by Elon Musk, and he would change the name to X, and the platform would become irrelevant. That American civilians would storm their own US Capitol. Joe Biden and Donald Trump have been running against each other for president for almost 8 years now. Yes. Donald Trump. The last debate Trump said they're aborting babies after they're born, and Biden struggled to form a complete sentence. Then they argued about their golf handicap. And we're all like, yeah. This seems about right. That in-house would cost a lifetime of saving every penny that you earn for a lifetime worth of work.